Torials in the late night Torials. I'm gonna talk about these angles. I'm gonna talk about them to you. I'm gonna talk about them to you. So you've tried to make angles in the past before. You've tried many a time and you've failed in area forever. Now, I'm gonna explain how poorly. No. Goodly. Goodly. And you are gonna see it with your eyes. And I'm gonna do it momentarily. I just have to delete Goodly first. Taken care of. Hi, my name's Bepler. Do you ever want to make angles in your animation but just find that you're not sure how to? Well, look much further than this video because this is merely an introduction. This is next to nil, as in the scale of what you need to know. However, I'm going to at least address the issue, so it's not just floating out there in the infinite nothingness that is Flash knowledge. So here we go. I got my tablet all set up. I just did it while I was talking. I was just saying words right there. I didn't even think about what I was gonna It is 2 in the morning over here on the West Coast, and I'm gonna talk about angles. So you have your figures, right? And they're like, let's fight. Oh, he turned into a line tool. That's okay. No need to discriminate. We can accept all types of tools here. Oh, lines versus brushes, the age-old battle. And they're like, we're gonna face off. He's gonna take his face off and then put Nicolas Cage's on John Travolta and Travolta on Cage, and there they are. But you want to say something to the likes of, but not exclusive to, wait a minute, Andrew, what if I want this? Oh dear, how will I know what to do when I want to draw this? I'm panicking. I do not know. No FlashBepler has ever taught me. Well, you can go from this to this in moments. Instances. You can do anything in moments. What am I saying? Things can happen in time. What? Blue will be seen by somebody. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Listen, guys, it's not easy to take the step from going from this to this. In fact, it's really scary, and you have to understand perspectives. I touched on perspectives in a previous video, probably like 3 videos ago now. Actually, that's not. Just listen. Things far away are small, right? You put your hand up to your eyes and it's big, and then you hold it away and it's small. Yeah. So you have to understand a few things. Vanishing points. There is a point somewhere on the screen, on the frame, where if it was infinitely far away, something of this size it would vanish. You wouldn't be able to see it because it's there, because it's so far away. You understand what I'm saying. I'm just not phrasing it very well. The it is the point at which, if you projected a head on a course, it's a vanishing point. Listen, just listen. It's right there. These, a thing that's this size is too far away to see. Done. I don't have to explain it anymore. You understand what a vanishing point is. Go watch my perspectives tutorial or read anything ever on drawing in perspective. In fact, just Google drawing in perspective. Just do that up and you'll see a billion pictures of people drawing buildings like this. This is called 2-point perspective. Yeah. They might even draw it like this. That's 3-point perspective. Just, you can learn all those, and that's good. It's really great to draw cities because we build our cities on a nice 90-degree grid system. So when you put a camera somewhere in here and point it at an angle like this, it's really easy to draw buildings, because then they're all going to be pertaining to those lines. It's so nice. So practice drawing some cities in perspective before you try and make your stick fights in perspective, because you got to understand the basics before you can step up to the mastery level. You know, draw some buildings and maybe draw like a long building here. Oh, and then it's actually a really skinny long building. Look at that. There's one side of it, and here's the other. Yeah. Hi, my name is Bepler. Listen. I'm going to show you some examples. I'm going to talk about it. I got to get my notes. Orthography. What is this? I talk about it in perspectives. So, you got Blender, right? We're taking a step away from Flash, so that we can talk about Flash. So, what do I have here? I have a scene with a camera, which is much too large for the whole thing there. And, I have a figure, a lady. Credit for this figure. Oh crap, I'm supposed to do this. We say blend swap and we search figure. Ready? It's this guy, Alexander Lee. There you go. Thanks, Alexander Lee. I don't know you and you don't know me, but here's your lady. So this is a figure standing in a room by herself, and here's a camera that I have positioned there, and I've set up these guidelines called thirds right there. Why am I this isn't a Blender tutorial. And I positioned, see how there's this camera is divided into 9 boxes by 4 lines. I had to think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just, they intersect at 4 points, and that is these places, because there are 3 divisions. So upon these 4 points, it is commonly referred to as the rule of thirds, wherein you place your points of focus on these intersections. Some of you might even know this, and it works a lot of the time in doing one thing, which is drawing your eye to that point on the screen. But it is not, I mean, that's not exclusively where you look all the time. If you look at a picture and there is a bright red thing here and it's all white around it, your eyes won't just jump to these points. But if you put your bright stuff at those points, you know, it helps. I think, I mean, that's what everybody says. Check it out. I got the head, the door, the light, and then nothing. It's okay to have nothing. In fact, it's better to have balance. The door probably just shouldn't even be there. This is a good picture. This is a quality composition. Now let's talk about the perspective of this whole thing. So check this out. I'm gonna click my camera, and this is a focal length. So what is focal length? Well, well, when you have a camera, there is a distance. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Camera, lens, internals. So, gosh dang it, there's no focal length. There, perfect. This is great. So, there is a distance betwixt the front lens and the sensor, and that is the focal length. It's usually measured in millimeters, and it is what defines your perspective of your scene, of your everything. You know, fisheye lenses, they have a very short focal length. I think I'm phrasing that right. Look, Comic Sans. So, like, dang it. Yeah. They have a short focal. Yeah. This probably makes no sense to you. Fisheye lenses put their front piece of glass very, very close to the sensor. And telescopes put their front piece of glass very, very far away from their sensor inside of the lens. That's why long-range lenses are longer and wide-angle lenses are really short and stout. Case closed. And when you draw your stuff, you have to keep in mind the average focal length of your camera that you are imagining for your scene. So, like, this is a wide angle, very, very wide, and to get the same shot as before, timeline, ready? Okay, ready? Check this out. Let's zoom back in. I'm just going to show you the perspective shift. I just don't know how else to do it. Let's put a little keyframe here and put a positioning keyframe. Location. Okay, let's go to here, and let's actually go to here. Zoom way out and insert a keyframe, and oh no, move this thing forward. Okay, you ready? Gosh dang it, it didn't work at all. It didn't work at all. Insert keyframe. Yes, bam. Okay, this is exactly what you needed to see. This is a perspective shift. Notice how the head stays in almost the same position, but something is happening. Something strange is happening. Especially we can see this if I move the cube forward a little bit. Okay, check this out. Look at that. It's weird, right? It's stretching, because I'm zooming out but moving in. If you zoom out and you move in, I was not prepared to make this tutorial. No. I'm gonna muster through. I'm gonna explain it up. Look at the room. It gets longer because it is further away. And look at his head. It gets longer. It's not getting as much longer though. Alright, just watch this. Ready? So like, see how this side is bigger than this side? Big, small, big, and small. Watch what happens when I turn off perspective. Right now, the camera that I use to roam my scenes perspective is 70 millimeters, which is a fairly zoomed in lens. It's not like a telescope, but say I was infinity right here, and the distance I was away from the scene was also infinity, it would look like this. Bam! See that? This is called orthographic view or perspectiveless viewing, and it's you can see exactly what it's doing. I'm going to turn it on and off here. Perspective, no perspective. So like, you don't really ever you never like get closer to anything. So if I click on my figure, like, I can zoom in, but this like wall is still in front of the guy, the girl, because you're a million miles away looking at everything, just zooming in and out. And there you have it. Don't draw your scenes like this. It looks weird and unnatural. Draw your scenes like this. Spicy. Beautiful. Look at this 2-point perspective. Oh, it is. Because one point, I'll follow the lines here, is like right there and right there. And the other point is like it's off my monitor onto this other one over here. But if I change it a little bit, then now you're able to see where this point would be, but this other point is way off the screen now. What did I even want to talk about? Figures in perspective. All right, this is great. So check this girl out. She is normal right now. There's no foreshortening. Oh boy. Foreshortening is a whole other video, completely different. It's the same thing, but it's for a whole other video. Just watch what happens as I get closer. She becomes distorted. If I click the camera, I can look down. The head is huge, but we all know that feet are as big as our heads. However, it doesn't look like it, but it is. Oh, it is. Yes. So like, the feet look a little bitty, but if I turn, no, this is not how I should have demonstrated this. If I turn the perspective back up, like it's a zoomed in lens, and then I move accordingly so I can see everything, now the feet don't look as small compared to the head. They're like 2/3 the size instead of 1/5 the size, you know? Because I changed the perspective. Like, just watch. Yeah. Normal size head, normal size feet. Make this a wide angle lens. Get real close. Huge head, tiny feet. You can't even see the feet. Because, I mean, they're still normal, but the camera is just such a wide angle. We zoom in. I gotta stop explaining the same thing. Case closed. Foreshortening. So when you're drawing your angles, and you're drawing your people, and you're doing the sillies, and oh, I do mean the sillies. You have to remember this stuff. You cannot just leave it out, man. You have to know. Wait for the video on drawing foreshortened figures. I'm just going to get rid of this. It's just E now. It's estimated time until next video. Rule of thirds. I talked about that already. Great. Composition tips. Okay, this is the whole reason I made the whole video. This is why I was here. So, like, let me show you some stuff. This is a person. And from this angle now, they are looking to the left. Okay? It's true. They really, really are. They are looking left. And in fact, let's just grab this camera and put them on the rule of thirds line. Oh, I didn't even do it. There. What a great shot. What a great freaking shot. Just give that a render. This is some quality stuff, but I see a lot of things happen in a lot of people's 2D animations that worry me and make me feel scared. I didn't even get the camera in the right spot. Forget this render. It's all botched now. Great. Great. Look at what she's done. Oh. There. That's the render I wanted. But oftentimes I won't see this happen. I will see this happen. And this scares me. Look room, lead room, nose room. Check us out. Check us out. Where's my pen? This is the most scattered. This is it. I need an award for how scattered this is. Don't do this. Please, for all that is angles, don't do this. Don't ever do this. Do not do a run cycle happening here. Because where's he gonna go? Because where is he gonna go? He's got no room. He's got no room to move. Give him some space to get into the in the frame. Jeez, them crepes. Give him some space, man. Give him some room to stick his nose. You know, to look around. Don't jam him up against the side of the screen. Be like, you gotta look right in here. You know, because then, what is all this? Don't even do this. Don't lead your shots. If you got some feet fill in the frame, you know, put them on this side of the screen if they're walking this direction. Don't put feet going like that. Because you're gonna run out of oh my god. Don't even put him in the middle. Just give him like a tiny bit of lead room. Maybe not this much, but at least like that much. You know, so he's got room to walk. If you got somebody throwing something, he's gonna throw it that way. You know, put him over there. Where's his arm gonna go? So don't do this. Just do this. Or even like that. This is questionable. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta give them look room. Room to look into the frame. And if there's two people looking at each other, all bets are off. But if it's just one thing happening, please. Look room, lead room. Okay, the 180 rule. Did OK Google just seriously pick up on that? Okay, Google. The 180 rule. Okay, so when you are gonna have a scene happening you don't want to break the 180 until you break the 180. You need to blend the 180. So like, imagine you're watching your favorite sitcom. They try to keep people looking continuous directions. This is a brilliant photograph. Yeah. It's an illustration. This is no photo. So like, people get confused if they see different orientations of things that they've been used to. So if you are watching a scene with this man talking to this man, if you're watching orange shirt talking to blue shirt, you're used to seeing blue shirt facing to the left and orange shirt facing to the right. And even if you shoot from over here or over here, no matter what, as long as you don't cross this 180 line, they will maintain those orientations. Any camera angle along here will keep orange shirt looking right and blue looking left. And it gets so frustratingly convoluted when I see animations where purple stick figure is running to the right, and then we cut in for a close-up of blue stick figure, and then we cut back to the wide, and here's blue over here now, even though just moments ago he was looking this way. Well, I mean, it's kind of a slight suggestion, but it's like he's looking that way. So, and then we cut into the wide, and now he's facing the opposite direction, and purple is running left. I mean, everything, you tossed it all up. You reversed his direction. So the only way we know who this is because is the color. Audiences need so much more than that. You need to know freaking what way they're facing, how fast they're moving, where they are in the scene around them. You know, give reference points in every shot. Reference your background as much as possible, because scene awareness is something that I think is really hard to lock down in 2D animating. You know, faking the 3D scenes. Like, give yourself some landmarks. You know, put like a tree in the background that always looks the same, and make sure that it's always in the right spot relative to where you draw your figures. And don't break the 180 until you merge the 180, which means you got your line, you have purple running in towards blue. So like, show all the shots you want of this side of things where purple is running to the right, and you know, punch in for a close-up on this side of the 180, and like, you know, punch in for another close-up of purple as he's running. If you know, punch in for a foot shot down here of like blue's feet as purple comes running towards blue. But never ever bring the camera over here until you go either way wide or you do a moving camera shot where the camera starts in a point of familiarity and reveals the 180, where you merge the dissonance between this stuff and this stuff. It's really good to do it with a moving camera like this. Say you have a landmark that keeps showing up over here, like that tree that always looks the same. If you show it like in context, like really wide from where it is back here in relation to both of them, sometimes it then becomes safe to show it again from this side, like slightly, like start here. Never ever cut from here to here, it's just disorienting, and it confuses more than it looks awesome. Like, really, really please try to stay on one side of things. That is my biggest pro tip of all time, that you can't get better than that for angles. You just can't. Because the most common angle is this one. It's like way back here and zoomed way in. And it's kind of how everybody animates. It's not a bad thing, but if you are starting here, don't cut into a close-up that does this from this side. That's bad, bad, bad. Just get rid of that. Get rid of all of this. And this is, don't even try it until you do a couple animations staying on one side of the 180 line. And if for some reason your situation changes, like if, you know, this figure gets knocked over here, like bam, then your new 180 line is there, and for the whole fight, someone should be on the left and someone should be on the right. It's a really good thing to do, because it gets it in people's head. And if maybe you want to pick a theme, like whoever is on the right side is winning, that's okay too. But then it's super important to stress your landmarks back here and to just have them cross at the proper times in the scene, and always the person on the right is the one who's winning. So like someone does a flip over somebody else, and now they have the upper hand because they're on the right side of the screen. Your audience might not know it, but subconsciously it's going to get in their head that anybody who's over here is beating the person who's over here. This is not the last time that I'm going to talk about the 180 rule. But for now, I've done it enough. Please, 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 please mind it and use it to your advantage. I think that is almost definitely the most common problem I see, is people mixing it up and making it hard to understand where people are in the scene. Also, just having backgrounds that are completely plain, then it's like not even an option to not use the 180 rule. Because if you're if you have two black figures fighting on a white background, first of all, like, if you even try to do more than a couple angles, you're gonna lose everything. But if you try to do it while breaking the 180, it's like there you don't stand a chance. Okay, I'm done. This is a camera frame now. Okay, it's a camera frame. It's for realsies. It's not pink. It doesn't show it very well, does it? Orange, that's good. So now, just a really quick thing. If you're punching in for a close-up, here's their head, and you want to show some stuff. This is more for full body faces rather than stick faces, but apply it to everything. This is a head, whatever. Oh my gosh, where's my undo? Okay, so you got your eyes, and you got your nose, and your lips. What did I just do? You have your eyes, and your nose, and your lips. Good. So, check this out. Cut off your forehead. Do not cut off your chin. Like, slice their forehead off. Get rid of the brains. But do not. So, a really good also rule for composition with faces, and this has helped me a lot over the time. divide your screen into 3 parts. Like you got part 1, part 2, and part 3. Put your eyes at the 2/3 line, no matter what. And almost always, it is a really good rule to follow for face shots. If you just put your eyes there, something about the way the frame is and the way your head looks, it's best. So it begs to say, never cut off your chin unless you're doing a shot where somebody's like looking up and the camera's about to move up, when you could just cut off the forehead instead and keep the mouth in frame. This looks a lot better than this. There you go. Done. Case closed. And even if you're like really far away, I use this a lot when I got like standing shots. It's like eyes to the 2/3 line. It's just defaultative now. Or alternatively, the 1/6 line for very wides. Like that. This is how you make people look big. Tough guy. You know what? No, that's foreshortening. That's another video. Just keep them at the 2/3 line. Even if that means you're showing some shoulders now, as opposed to the top of the head. Just do it. You can cut off anything above here, and it'll look fine. Like, check this out, check this out. It's great. There. Done. Last, stay wide. Okay, great. Do it. Please. Stay in the wide. It's already hard enough to tell what's going on when you don't have a 3D scene to move your camera around inside of. So give the audience something to work with and stay wide so they don't have to guess what zoomed in background they're looking at when they already barely know where the camera's even being placed. Stay wide as much as possible. This is pretty good. This would also be pretty good. This is good. If the camera's moving, especially like that, stay wide. Oh my gosh, please do. Just like, if you're gonna do a shot like this, it's okay to zoom in if the camera's not moving, or even if it's just moving from like camera shake, like, then it's okay. But if the camera is moving in space, not just from your hands shaking, just stay wide. Just stay wide. 2015. Okay. I know, I haven't even drawn any backgrounds. I've just been talking. It's an intro video. Nextly, I'm just going to show you some examples of some angles. Here we go. Oh, it's so loud. Oh, Flash. Your sound effects are so loud. Check it out, check it out. See, sometimes you can make it dramatic. See, this is literally, it's just a person. I just said literally. It's 2:30 in the morning. It is a person standing still, pulling a crowbar off their back, and then throwing a grenade in the air and hitting the grenade with the crowbar. But the camera can tell a much bigger story than that. Ready? Like, the camera is flying around on his body. You know, it's picking where it wants to go. See how his head gets really small when it focuses on the crowbar? Is this a rule of thirds? Then we go in for the slice. Ting! And it doesn't actually look like that. It looks like this with like motion lines to guide your eyes. Bam. This is a shot where we got some perspective going on with the trees, okay? The farther away trees move more slowly than the close-up trees. So, like, you know, I made them do that because they're further away, because that's what happens. This grid I did was to help me figure out how big this person should be, and it helped a lot. Sometimes just make a grid, and you can use the grid to guide your pen strokes. This is actually a really long shot that starts in a tree. But that is not what I want to stress about. It's just this part where it's like, see all that happening? The ground up front is moving the fastest, and then these close trees, and then the mid trees, and then the far trees. And the grid. Use a grid if you can. It will help you a lot. To make a grid, just draw it, you know, and then hold Control and Shift on the corners, and you can make those top corners like skew like this. This is one very, very simple, where he just walks away from the camera. He just walks away. And this is what would really be a wide angle lens shot, because he's walking at a normal speed, but he gets little so fast in just one step. So, like, this camera is really exaggerating the perspective. You know? And I don't have the camera moving because there's no background reference points. Good move, Andrew. Good move. This is where Andrew did good. Here's a top-down shot. Slow-mo. No. Right here. See that? You can just throw the camera anywhere you want. No, wait, I take it back. You can't do that. I mean, you can, nobody's gonna stop you, but you won't get good looking shots. I threw the camera on top right here for who knows why. I thought it looked cool. And it's fine because he's winning. He is on top. Mic drop. I'm out. This is it. Done. FlashBepler. Thanks for watching. Rest in peace, Torials. Rest in peace. No. He is on top. And he's losing, so he's on bottom. So, because he's the one getting pushed back. And he's like, I can't take it much longer. So then, oh look, here's another. Look at this. The head is huge. No, this is foreshortening. Don't look at this. But you can just put like a cool up above camera angle if you want to, you know, convey who's the best, or you just want it to look cool. Next we have the recover shot 4. We're getting into the complex. So like, this is a moving camera. You can't actually watch it because the way that it exported, but here we go. Well, dang it. Screw all. Ready? The camera does like a whole 180. Now, this rock is my point of solidity in this shot. Then notice the camera directly correlating to the rotation of the rock. The background is just kind of sliding around, but the rock is 3D rotated. So you can really, you know, your brain can put together what the heck is happening. Even if the rock wasn't there, it would be just like two backgrounds sliding around on top of one another. But since there is this rock here, you know, you tell that the camera's flipping and it's moving forward a little bit with this guy that's running like a gazelle, and then you get the whole picture because of a reference point. I crossed the 180 a little bit here, not too much though, only by a slight bit, but I showed it all with a moving camera. What have we got here? I just, you know, slam that camera way up high in a corner like a security camera angle. Why not? Why the heck not? It could be fun, you know? Just put your camera wherever the heck looks interesting and roll with it. this is a picture drawn in 3-point perspective. You can actually still see my guidelines from when I drew them, all the things. And the inside of this treehouse, like, this is one set of parallel lines, this is another set, and that is the last set. And then I just drew like a kind of spherized horizon line and tweened everything, gave it a nice angle there. But what you have to remember is that I knew when I was doing this, the feet needed to look real little and the head needed to stay big. So this doesn't just happen. You have to think about it. And notice how when he's under the door, like, his head is on top of his body, but out here, his head is, well, it's, you can see his body now. It's not covering it up. Because I drew this person in essentially 1-point perspective relative to this point. So, like, I went from the head down. Imagine you were just drawing a cube here, well, like a vertical rectangular prism, and like I drew lines here to show me where to put his body, and I did this, like the same stuff out here. Check it out. So this was my point, and he was the subject of the point, so that I knew, like, from this point, one head size down here was only going to be this big. If he was laying on the floor, his head would look this big. I guarantee you it. Which then starts to rival the size of the feet, because feet are the sizes of heads. Okay, I'm done talking about this. Next shot. A moving camera in a perspective-y room. This is just to cover all my bases. This is probably one of the most complicated shots I've done. And here we go. So right now we're looking at a table. This red rectangle here represents the camera. So we're seeing a table looked at from above, and the camera is about to turn to the right, rotate a bunch. Just watch. So I'm building my scene around my camera so that I can start to move it. I actually just moved the scene underneath the camera and let everything else go. So there it all goes. It follows his hand up to his face. So I'm like building all these walls around his head, and then he goes in, and I'm gonna have to now build this wall that it's about to look at behind him, and then it's in, and everything worked. So like 2 moves, 1 and 2. All of these I roughly lined up. Like the way that I chose how much to skew this was by drawing a point down here and putting like the lines to be going outward from that point. So you have to move your perspective points as you animate your camera moving. I'm going to do like a live example of a moving camera in a perspective drawn scene, but this is just an intro video. So now that you have been exposed to a bunch of ideas all at once, I can thank you for watching. I can say goodbye, my name is Bepler. I can stop the recording. Yes. Perspectives, guys. Angles. Not that hard once you freaking figure it out. Really hard once you have no idea what's going on. Anyway, I'm gonna make more. I'm gonna explain more. Explain more of this junk. It's crazy. It's too much to handle. Bye, guys.